The Johnny thing, the Johnny connection with Tupac comes from Big Psych.
Okay.
Big Psych was dealing with Tupac first. So after we, Psych and Johnny, we all love Johnny, but Psych held on to him, and then that's when Johnny was able to connect through Psych to Tupac and start the Thug Life and all of those albums. Right. They went over there with that, and I already knew the work ethic. I didn't know Tupac work ethic. I know Johnny was already born and bred from what we did.
Right.
So when them two met, and I started hearing stories about how Tupac's work ethic was, I said, oh, that's a match made in heaven. Because Johnny's already built for it now. He can go all night. With Johnny, I was so fast, bro, back in the days. I would, like they say, well, Pac would drop a verse and go on to the next booth. I was dropping whole songs. All 3 verses. 4. People don't understand knocking boots is 4 verses, bro.
Yeah.
Who does 4 16s?
Yeah.
And I wrote that in like 15 minutes. So we was just pull up the next track. I'm knocking through the whole songs, bro. Melt in your mouth, not in your hand. The CA to the NDY, the MAN, I'm like no other man, cause no other man can be an undercover lover and a soul brother man. On the other hand, introduce me to your mother, Ann. I wouldn't be surprised if she's my #1 fan. Here I stand, a full 6'3", and the perfect match has to be when you meet me under a palm tree. In the middle of the beach, bring a towel or a sheet, knock the boots with sand in our feet. After we eat what we bought on the pier, I hear your earrings jingle like a chandelier. As you premiere, what you hear is not a simile, but it's meant to be the poetry, SPEAKING. There'll never be another Candyman because I melt in your mouth, not in your hand.
Let's give him a hand clap, you guys. Let's go. That was fire, bro.
So when I heard about Pac, I'm like, that was a marriage meant to be. Pac needed that. I'm sure, because me and Johnny would knock out like 6 songs a day. Complete, all verses. 5. 4 was a lazy day. 4 was a day we was drinking all day and still knocked out 4 bangers.
Wow.
So when I heard about Johnny connecting with Pac, I said, oh, and then I started hearing back like Pac's work ethic. I said, oh yeah. So that's when I called Johnny again after Pac passed, because I knew that hurt him. That, there's a brotherhood that comes with that.
Yeah.
When you're around each other every day, just knocking out tracks and making hits and knowing that it's hard. Only breaks we would ever take is when we would invite our homegirls over to the spot so they can listen. You got to get some females to listen to the tracks. Yeah. And that would still work. Shouts out to my homegirl, Lachelle Macashelli. That's Suge Knight's cousin. We didn't know about Suge back then.
Right.
Lachelle was just funny as shit. And she would come through the house talking about, it smelled like Funkadelic up in here. Because we camped out. Shouts out to her. She going to love that. And RIP to Jewel. That was our homegirl too. I mean, we know everybody, bro. Everybody. Yeah. So Johnny and Tupac couldn't have been a better thing to ever happen, as everyone knows.
To me, if I got the songs right, in my opinion, on that All Eyes on Me album, the best songs, I mean, the whole album is a classic.
You can say it, bro. I know where you're going. But
to me, his songs were the best ones.
It's a Johnny J record, bro. That's a Johnny J record.
Yeah.
Johnny J is the heart of that record. I mean, how many songs is Johnny J? Pull up the track list.
Yeah, I know.
If it's I don't know. Let's say if it's 11 songs, is 8 of them songs Johnny J?
Yeah.
That's a Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones collaboration, bro.
Yeah. Now, you said you called him when Pac
immediately.
What was his response, man? If you don't mind sharing that.
Well, his wife at the time, I'll give a shout out to her, Capucine, and we all kind of wasn't messing with each other, and she was known at the time. I'll give her props that if Johnny wasn't feeling you or whatever, she look, ask, and like, you're not getting through the line. Me, I was never, when he blowing up like, hey bro, how's it going? I just can't be fake. I don't know nothing about that life. I know you don't either.
No.
We the same kind of dude.
Yeah.
So if it's like, fuck you, then it's fuck you. Straight up.
Yeah.
And on both sides. Yeah. Fuck you back. How about that? Well, fuck you back more. Right, we can do this all day. But we brothers.
Yeah.
At the end of it, brothers fight. We never not loved each other, or else when she looked over there when Candyman called, she said no words and handed him the phone. So obviously I was on speaker because we've talked, myself and Capucine, and she's like, I heard the conversation.
Yeah.
So when I talked to him, I knew he was hurting. I knew my brother was hurting. he lost his brother.
Yeah.
So when he started talking, he was happy to hear from his long, well, I wouldn't lost, but you know, when your brother, you just kind of like you don't mess, family.
Yes.
Y'all just go to your separate corners. But after like 2 minutes in, we were right back brothers again. I said, Johnny, this is what I told him. I said, Johnny, my condolences to your friend, to your brother. Okay? I know you're going through it. You will always be connected to him through your music. You will always feel that pain. It's going to always get brought up. But I said this. I said, Johnny, we started this. So you and I will always be connected. Whichever one of us goes first. I said these exact words. I remember them. You getting an exclusive. I said, whichever one of us go first, the other one's going to have to represent the other one. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
And he was silent. If I go first, you're going to always forever have Candyman questions. And that's why I've said nothing. Because I knew immediately when Johnny passed, Candyman, Johnny J. And I couldn't even say his name like that, bro.
Yeah.
It was that painful. Where it's like, I just realized it's 14 years, bro.
Yeah.
This is the first Johnny J interview I've done. Yeah, I lost a piece of my soul.
I know when we talked on the phone, and like I said, and I'll change the channel after I finish saying this. Mm-hmm. When we had talked on the phone, and I told you the story, and I won't go too deep into it because that was between us,
right? And
how I was sharing that story with someone at the gym, and then somebody came up to me and goes, "Did you know Johnny J?" And I said, "Well, you know what? Yeah." I said, "I can't really say we talked all the time, but I told him about the conversation that we had." And he said, "Can I talk to you outside?" And then come to find out he was the deputy, when all that happened. Mm-hmm. Well, my last conversation with Johnny, I believe it was about 2 weeks before he went in. Mm-hmm. And he had called me and he was like, "Tony, hey, fuck." So we started reminiscing about the audio treatment days when I saw him, etc. Mm-hmm. And he tells me, "Man, we got about 80 Tupac songs." He said, "I've been in contact with Tupac's mother."
Right.
He says, and she's suing Suge for $100 million, because he said Pac died broke. He had nothing. I just let him talk,
right.
And I said, "Okay, so what do you need from me?" He goes, "Are you still producing?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you still have the SP12? And I said, "Yeah."
Right.
And he said, "Well, I'm going to go do a little bit of time." Now that shocked me. And he goes, "I'm going to do, when I get out, I'm going to be in contact with you. I'm up here in Acton, California. Mm-hmm. I want you to come up. I want to play some stuff for you." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Fuck, are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah." Now I was all excited. I said, "Okay." Right. Hung up. A couple of months later, I'm eating breakfast by myself. I open up the newspaper and I read it.
Right.
I couldn't even fucking eat anymore, bro.
Nah. When you say that SP1200, everybody was moving on to the MPCs. That was Johnny's baby.
Yes.
Johnny would never let go. Like you said from that album cover, how proud he was.
Yeah.
Anytime when I heard How Do You Want It, because I already knew he was messing with Pac. See, we had this thing, and it would make us laugh. And Johnny would always put these funky ass intros, these, and he would just do too much with the shit. And then he knows, like, if I'm in the booth, I'm gonna fall out, hit the floor. Like, what's that? That's the, like, eternal drum roll, nigga. What is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because he just loved pushing them buttons. So, we used to be like, if you don't cut that shit out, Johnny. So when I heard that, how do you want, bro? I'm talking about immediately. I had the biggest smile on my face, and I said, "That's Johnny J."